Hello, everyone. Raymond Mhor, Kilt Prepper. How's everybody doing? It's Thursday. So, and you're watching Coffee with Ray. Good coffee today. Yeah, it's kind of raining outside and everything. And kind of what is 51, a lot better than stinking 13, which was a few days ago. But life's good. But today's topic is, what are you doing to better yourself? And thing is, and this is rather interesting because you can just look at people all over, and I mean, walk into Walmart, folks, and you can just see how many people really are not working hard to better themselves. I mean, you see so many people just stuck to their phone and, just walking around like zombies. You see that they're overweight. You see that they don't take care of themselves. They don't have a pep in their step. They're, people who kind of like walk fast. I tend to walk fast, but people who walk fast, that have pep in their step, have a mission, have purpose and things. These people have got, they're doing stuff to make themselves better. And so my question to you is, what are you doing to better yourself? Hey, Holly, how you doing? And what I wanted to do is share a little bit of what I'm doing to better myself. And, and I do a lot of these things daily, but one of the things I'm doing right now is I'm doing this devotion. It's called the Prayer of Jabez. It's a devotional, but I'm turning this into a challenge. Anytime, this is something, I think it's got like 35 days or something like that. So I'm quote unquote doing a 35-day challenge. And what I do is I make sure I get up every morning and I read this. This is part of my self part of the core four. And so doing this, doing some meditation on this, reading scripture and everything. And all the time when I read books, I always have a highlighter because I'm always highlighting information because I keep all my books. I always go back to a lot of my books. I reread a lot of my books. And so I want to always, highlight things that really stand out to me. But every day I am now doing the Prayer of Jabez. And this is the devotional, and it's by Bruce Wilkinson. And this is rather, Prayer of Jabez, probably what, a 20-year-old, devotion and everything, but I've been enjoying it greatly. But this is something that I'm doing to better myself in when it comes to the core four of health, self-love, money. This is the self part. I am putting positive information into my mind so that the more positive information I have in my mind, all this negative crap that's going on out there, this positive stuff kind of acts like a force field. And so all this negative stuff, goes bing, 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 bounces off of me because I have a lot of positive in my life. So this is one of the things that I am doing to, better myself. Another thing that I am doing, and a lot of you guys know this is my first quarter of this year notebook. And again, what I do is I take my core four, and let's see here. Let's go to this one, but core four, and you can see that I write, health, self-love, money, and I've got my tasks that I've done, and this really helps me stay on track. And so this is another way that I use to better myself by using and leveraging the core four in my notebook. And, I put health, self, love, money. And, for my health, I usually write down what I weigh for that day or what exercises I've been doing, so forth and so on. And then for self, I'm doing the Prayer of Jabez, devotion right now. So that's helping myself. And then for love, I write down tasks and things that are important to Cynthia and or important to my daughter or important to other people, like my mother and everything. One of the things I did yesterday that was part of my love was I went with my mom to a doctor's appointment. She wanted me to go with her and everything. So I did that. I put that down in my love portion. And then for money, the things that I'm doing to, bring in income, build business, build my coaching program, so forth and so on. So that's another tool that I use to help better myself daily. Now, something else that I've been doing is I've been really this quarter I am focusing on the servant warrior, becoming the servant warrior, working up to that and becoming that better person. And I take a lot from, the Knights of the Round Table and primarily from the samurai, the Bushido code and things like that. How to be that better person, how to serve humbly, how to help people, but also be there in times of trouble and be able to protect the innocent and protect the helpless and so forth and so on. But one of the things I've been doing recently now is working with this is my plastic or my nylon katana, and I go outside and I do hits. I do swings and practicing, doing that. Uh, I'm feeling it in my shoulders and my arms because I haven't done this in a long time, but this is another challenge that I'm doing to better myself. And I find it is, folks, listen, I'm old. And so I'm not doing the hardcore, super tough, workouts and, all that other stuff because, like it or not, my body pays for it. So I do a lot of basically high reps, low weight, a lot of like with the sword, I'm doing a lot of reps, just doing cutting and everything and practicing that and perfecting the form. And so those are things that I do again to better myself. And this will not only help with self, but this helps with health and helps with love, because if anybody ever comes and attacks our home or does this, that, or the other, I have swords all over the house and everything. And that's my choice of weapon for home defense. And so I practiced a lot with the sword. I used to do Aikido, and I enjoyed that quite a lot. It's basically fast draw swords. So you practice these katas, you practice pulling your sword out, cutting something, returning your sword. And so other things that I do to help better myself, and this is something I actually picked up yesterday, and this is some soap and some beard oil. My beard's starting to get a little scruffy and everything. So, this is some beard soap and some beard oil. I picked it up at the local co-op store. And this is a local business just right down the road, and it's veteran owned. So I wanted to do that. But reason I like these things, this smells really good. And so it's nice to smell good, it's nice to look good and everything. That's another way to better yourself. And so by doing all these things, you motivate yourself, and some things you push through. There's days that I don't want to do the sword and everything because my shoulders and arms hurt, but at least I'll go out and kick out 50 swings or so forth just to get it in. At least I'm not doing nothing, but every day I'm working hard to better myself. And so what are you guys doing? What do you do to better yourself? Put down in the comments or something like that. But it's important that we work hard daily to better ourselves. But the primary reason is hard times are coming, folks. And SHTF is coming, like it or not. I'm preparing for an economic collapse and craziness. I'm also preparing, and I'm very concerned about the possibilities of some sort of civil war going on. And so these are things that I'm concerned about, I'm prepping for, and doing my best to better myself, particularly with this year being the election year. I really think things are going crazy, and especially whoever loses is going to be a serious butthurt situation, and we may see some violence out there. And so it's important to me to get my body in shape, start training with weapons, start doing these things. Again, this is why I'm training with my sword and things. And so, to better myself, so I am prepared to withstand that storm, not only physically but mentally. And by preparing these things now, start thinking about these things now, start looking and putting some action plans into your brain, you're able then to be better prepared. And because the thing is when if you don't have a plan in place, if you haven't thought about something, if you don't have some sort of thing that your brain can access, then what you're going to do is you're going to either run or you're going to freeze. And so it's important to have plans in place here so that you know what to do. And these are things that I'm doing now. Now is the time to do these things. Don't wait. And I preach this all the time because so many people, oh, I'm going to wait till SHTF happens, or I'm going to do. If you wait, if you don't train now, then you're not going to be able to do it when SHTF takes place. So it's important that we train now, start training our minds, start training our bodies, start training in the other areas so that we are prepared for an SHTF situation. Because the people who are trained, it's the people who are trained mentally, physically, and spiritually that will make it. And there's so many preppers out there, folks. You could just look at them. There are overweight fat tubs of lard. You can't tell me that you're taking care of yourself and you're mentally preparing. You're not. You're leaning on your gear and your stuff. And your gear and stuff can only go so far. This is what's going to save you. This is what's going to do it. This is what's going to do it. And everything. All the stuff in the world is great. But if you don't have a strong mind, if you don't have a strong body, you're not going to make it. And so these are why I've been focusing so much on building this and building this. And so this is why I'm doing all this. This is why I'm teaching others. This is why I'm doing these videos and everything. I'm trying to sound the alarm that if you aren't exercising this and exercising this, when SHTF happens, and it can happen just like that, then you're going to fold like a cheap lawn chair. You're going to stink and crawl off to the corner, sucking your thumb in the fetal position because you haven't trained this and you haven't trained that. And so it's important that we work hard at training our minds and bodies and souls and spirits because hard times are coming and those who have trained these things will make it. So, that's all that I can think of right now for today. I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. What are you doing to better yourself today? And so we got Holly here. Holly says, I'm still getting up early for doing my walks. I also journal and read every day. I added 5-pound weights to the walk also. I tell you, my old body is hurting in these cold days. I just keep going. Good job, Holly. Good job. I'm super proud of you. And I think it's just older folks that are seeing this and see the needs and everything. And those are us who are actually doing it. And so I'm super proud of you. Keep on pushing forward and we'll keep on. So that's it, folks. Raymond Mhor, Kilted Prepper. You've been watching Coffee with Ray. We'll see you. Goodbye. God bless. And kilt on.